The conference room smelled like stale coffee and desperation that Thursday afternoon. Victor Kane, our director of operations, leaned back in his leather chair like he owned the whole damn table. He flipped through my 6-month infrastructure proposal the way you'd skim a grocery list. "We're trimming the Noncore," he said, voice flat, like ordering extra fries. He slid the packet back across the polished wood with 2 fingers, smirking at the other execs. "Consider yourself trimmed. Lauren, 14 years. That's how long I'd kept Apex Dynamics running on spit, prayers, and sheer stubbornness. I started when the company was 4 guys in a rented warehouse outside Seattle, sharing one ancient laptop and a dream. I registered the domain myself, apexdynamics.com, on my personal credit card because nobody had set up the LLC paperwork yet. $14 a year. Nobody asked to transfer it. Nobody cared. I built the internal systems from scratch, taught sales how VPNs worked, rerouted traffic during outages at 3 a.m., while the founders played foosball.
And now?
Noncore. I didn't speak. My face burned, but I kept it stone. The only woman at the table. The only one who knew our primary firewall license was days from expiring. The third-party audit I'd flagged as urgent sat ignored. Victor didn't ask why I needed the DNS failover contract renewed on time.
To him,
IT was the blinking box that kept email flowing until it didn't. The room murmured approval, 6-figure suits nodding like bobbleheads. Jerry from finance, who relied on my diagnostic scripts for his daily Outlook meltdowns, said nothing. Even compliance stayed silent. I gathered my papers, legs steady despite the acid rising in my throat. No one followed me out. Not even Rachel from HR, who usually sensed when my sarcasm turned sharp. In the stairwell, I let myself lean against the cool concrete for 10 seconds, breathing slow. Memories flooded, late nights in my apartment coding the first wiki in pajamas, saving the company from a ransomware scare in 2018 by isolating servers manually. All that, reduced to legacy fluff. Back at my desk, the office hummed with normalcy. I opened the PIN tab, the domain registrar dashboard. AW was off, thanks to Victor's latest belt-tightening memo. 48 hours until expiry. If it lapsed, the site would vanish. Emails bounce. Client portals die. Authentication fails. All those core cloud services Victor bragged about? Pointless without the address. I hovered over the renew button, then clicked remind me later. Not cancel. Not fix. Later. The taste in my mouth was metallic, like old pennies. I wasn't angry anymore. I was watching. Victor thought he was pruning dead weight. He had no idea he'd just cut the root. That evening, I drove home through Seattle traffic, radio low. My mug from the merger, faded, keep calm and reboot, sat in the cup holder. 14 years of miracles, trimmed in one meeting. If you've ever been erased by someone who couldn't see your foundation work, you know the hollow ache. I let it sit. Friday mornings started normal enough, but small cracks appeared. Jerry poked his head into my cubicle, laptop in hand, getting a not secure warning on the finance dashboard. Weird, right? Expired SSL certificate, tied to the domain. The system did exactly what we'd configured when auto-renew failed. I could fix it in seconds. Instead, I sipped cold coffee and suggested incognito mode. He bought it, walking away oblivious. An hour later, Rachel messaged, emails to clients lagging. Probably a filter thing, I replied. Have compliance, check outbound. I knew better. The MX records were fraying. Nothing dramatic yet. Just skips in the heartbeat. By lunch, sales complained about Zoom dropping participants randomly. Victor strode past my desk twice, eyes lingering. probably expecting me to sulk. I wasn't. I observed. Authentication hung. Slack connections faltered intermittently. VPNs booted users like a bad game of musical chairs. The warning signs were clear, but intermittent, no full crash for screenshots. Victor held a town hall in the break room, clicker in hand, pacing about agility and streamlined ops. The projector glitched mid-slide. The room waited it out, clapping like seals. He joked about subtractions sparking joy. I stood in back, fourth coffee in hand, leaning on the fridge. He quoted my old disaster recovery words back at me, twisting them. I felt the cables fraying. By 4 p.m., a junior dev posted in Slack about password manager issues. 3 replies confirmed. I closed my laptop early for once. In the parking lot, amber light bathed the building. Lights flickered inside. Victor was probably prepping more cuts. He had no clue the bone was exposed. Monday hit like a slow-motion avalanche. The 9 a.m. leadership sync was Victor's stage. He strutted in, button up tight, clapping once. Big wins from our fiscal lean down. He glanced at me announcing IT budget realignment for actual ROI. No more bloated contracts. The projector flickered on old firmware I'd flagged months ago. His slide showed 37% expense drop, green arrows down. He quoted radical efficiency, pacing, claiming we had to break eggs. He called the DNS failover waste, the exact contract I'd tried to renew. The room nodded. I sat frozen, biting my cheek till blood bloomed. Certainty settled in me. The clock was ticking. Domain DNS timeout would sever everything. I'd built it. Warned them. They trimmed anyway. The projector died mid-close. Victor chuckled about skipped maintenance. I didn't smile. This was the funeral start. By 8:07 a.m., Slack exploded. Sales. Atlanta client can't log in. Client services. Phoenix login redirect loop. Homepage unreachable. DNS probe failed. I sipped black coffee. Bitter and perfect. Office turned beehive. Phones ringing. Engineers whiteboarding frantically. No emails out. Finance billing down. HR portal 502 errors. Chaos bloomed. Victor stormed past. Phone to ear. Not internal. Routing issue. He doubled back. Double-check SSO or certificates. Force casual. Everything normal on my end, I said. Swiveling. True, my screen was clean. At 8:47, Mark from engineering muttered. It's DNS. Root domain not resolving. Name servers dead. The room turned. We have backups? Victor asked. Sweat beading. Mark snapped, not data. The domain itself. The front door gone. I smiled faintly, private symmetry. I'd seen it coming. They ignored the woman in the basement with the hydrant key. The war room formed in the glass conference room. Engineers. Admins. Leads crammed in. Victor at the head. Dry erase marker tossed like authority. Keep productive. No finger pointing. Devin explained build pushes failing. Tied to root domain. Why everything on one root? Victor barked. We had redundancy. Senior engineer. Failover was in the contract you canceled. Unnecessary duplication. You said. Silence thickened. Backups. Victor repeated.
Raj.
Infrastructure lead. You don't back up domain resolution. The roadmap's gone. Victor, rebuild it. Raj. We can't rebuild what we don't own. It landed. The domain wasn't company registered. Legal stonewalled. Victor flinched. What the hell? Raj. Registered to an individual. Predates company formation. Accusations flew low. Slashed renewals. Removed redundancy. Denied certificates. Victor banged fist. Who owns it now? I stood outside by coffee station. Cup steady. Glass walls framing the unraveling. Glances. Hushed talks. Pulling registrar records. The name would surface, mine. Not for power. Because 14 years ago, I paid out of pocket when others partied.
Now.
A live grenade. At 9:38, Devon found it. Laptop turned. WHOIS result glowing. Registrant. Lauren Hayes. My email. July 2010 registration. Expired. Grace period. Auto-renew off. Dead silence. No way. Mitch, no. Victor, tightened jaw. Turned toward me outside. Eyes locked. Tectonic shift. Power inverted. He stammered. Raj. She set it up. Before most of us were here. Legal didn't exist. Chuckle rippled. Victor reddened. Facade cracking. My name on screen like verdict. He rubbed temples. Stared out window for intervention. I walked back to desk. Steady. Inside. They knew. The Noncore held their digital lifeline. By 10:06, Victor melted down quietly, corporate panic. Phone glued. Tie yanked. Pacing footprints in carpet. He hit legal first, nowhere. Personal registry predates formation. Then IT security. Override? Spoof. Brady. Ex-military. Fraud. You approved the consolidation, making her root identity. Paper trail to Victor. Emergency protocols? Doesn't apply. She's active employee. Final call to registrar. Mitchell, no. Victor Langston. Critical outage. Need access. Not registrant. She's employed here. Won't talk. Silence after. Dignity slammed. Monitors red everywhere. Payment gateways timeout. Chats looping. Digital pulse flatlining. Only defibrillator sipped coffee from not my circus mug. Victor approached like cliff edge. I smiled small. He did the proving for me. At 11:02. He cornered me in kitchenette. Microwave hummed my burrito. Footsteps heavy.
Desperate.
Arms crossed. Blocking path. You've made your point. I canceled microwave. Reached around.
You're fixing this. Now.
Softer. Team player. I chewed slowly. Funny. Thought I was trimmed. Flinch. He glanced around, ears perked. Authorize whatever. Name price. Contractor agreement. Nervous chuckle. Be team player. Fix it. You called my system's legacy fluff. Told leadership infrastructure was unnecessary spending. Face flushed. Didn't mean you specifically. I nodded. Meant the systems you're standing in ruins of. What do you want? Title? Raise? Apology? Silence from me. Loud. Choking. He squirmed. I exhaled. Not what I want. What you lost. Quiet team keeping operation afloat without headlines. Threw us under bus for cost-saving headlines. Now bleeding money. Clients leaving. SLAs breached. I'll think about it. Broke him. Think about it. I stepped around. Lunch break. You've got thinking to do. Weight of silence, louder than apology. Noon emergency exec call. I arrived 10 minutes late on purpose. Room full. CFO. CTO. Legal. Sales head. CEO remote on bad Wi-Fi. Victor corpse pale. Eyes avoiding. I sat across. Chair creaking. Coffee like gavel. Tension marinated. CEO clipped. Mitch, Victor. What's happening? Short version. He cleared throat. Hands shaking glass. Critical DNS outage. Lost core services.
Off. Site.
Email. CEO. Why unresolved? Hesitation. Domain not registered to company. Legacy oversight. CFO IC. Clarify. Under individual's name. CEO. Whose? Everyone turned. Victor exhaled. Hers. CEO rubbed temple. Refusing. I sipped. Haven't been asked properly. Legal. Breach of 4 SLAs. Penalties. Lawsuits every second. Victor. Fix it. Climax moment. Victor leaned. Voice plea prayer. Will you transfer back now? I leaned back. Glanced room. Those who nodded at cuts. Chuckled at jokes while we worked unpaid weekends. Looked to my, you trimmed me. Trimmed company's lifeline too. He whispered broken. Oh no. The room hung on that whisper. CEO's face hardened on screen. Lauren. Explain. Calm Lake voice. Registered in 2010. Garage days.
Personal card.
Never transferred, nobody asked. Maintained 14 years. Warned on renewals.
Cut anyway.
Victor interjected. We can compensate. I continued. Systems you called Noncore kept everything breathing. Now single point failure because redundancy trimmed. Domain expiry severs all. CFO. Financial exposure? Legal nodded gravely. Victor sweated. Transfer now. Will reinstate budget lines. I paused long. Reinstate? Or respect the backbone? Sales had shifted uncomfortably. CTO. Technical fix first? I described precisely. Grace period active but records frozen without owner intervention. Registrar requires registrant approval.
No spoofing legally.
Victor's face blotched. CO. Lauren. What's your condition? Not money. Recognition. Process change. Value essential roles beyond slide decks. Flashbacks hit. 2012 outage I fixed solo during founder's vacation. 2019 merger, where my migration saved data. Quiet contributions erased. Victor had praised publicly once, then trimmed privately. He pleaded again. Softer. I was wrong. Arrogance blinded me. Company needs you. Room waited. Rachel outside glass watched supportively. I felt the inversion complete, not revenge. But mirror. Transfer happens after written commitments. Infrastructure veto on cuts without review. Public acknowledgement to team. Budget restoration.
Victor nodded fast.
CEO approved remotely. But I added, not just for me. For every overlooked specialist holding the foundation. Moral weight settled. Word count, 990. Continuing tension build with details of negotiation. Internal reflection on corporate culture. Transfer executed in minutes once agreement signed. Systems flickered back, online gradually. Emails flowed. Logins succeeded. Relief washed the office like rain after drought. Victor deflated but compliant. Public email went out, acknowledging my foundational role. Restoring lines. Committing review processes.
You set a disk.
Watching green status lights return. No gloating, just quiet satisfaction. The domain back in company name. But lesson etched. Colleagues approached cautiously, Jerry apologetic. Rachel grateful. Victor avoided direct eye contact days after. But budgets shifted. Weeks later. Infrastructure, respected differently. No more casual trims. I reflected driving home. Power isn't loud announcements. It's the quiet ownership of roots others forget. Undervaluing backbone workers risks collapse when the map vanishes. In corporate America, where flashy metrics trump silent reliability, one overlooked registration reminded everyone the foundation matters most. What if more Noncore held such keys? The question lingers, do we value the unseen until the lights go out?